Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. First of all, let me tell you, Naboo, how are you doing this afternoon? I'm last day of the year.
I'm doing excellent. I'm in this great facility called 90.1 KPFT here on 419 Lovett Boulevard, and just being here for the community because we are a community radio station.
That is who we are. That is what we do. And before we even start the program, it's the last day of the year.
It is.
And the one thing I'd like to say is, folks, do us a favor for the last day of the year. Go to kpft.org because we're having that silent, what again, Naboo?
That silent drive, yeah. Now's the chance. Hey, this is the last chance for this year to make a contribution, tax-free contribution to your tax-deductible contribution to your favorite radio station. That's 90.1 KPFT. So make sure you click on that red donate button, and you can make it a wonderful end-of-year gift to Pacifica and to 90.1 KPFT.
Absolutely so, folks. Absolutely so. Today I'm going to have a different kind of program. I want to hear a lot from you guys. I'm going to give a little intro. Then I'm going to go into my soliloquy. That I have words. Words just keep flowing, you know what I mean? But I don't want it to be my words. I want it to be your words. Here's a big question for everybody that's listening right now, and I'd like you to either call in with your statements. I'm also monitoring our multi-chat here, making sure that I can see Periscope, Facebook, everything, YouTube, the whole shebang. But what I'd love to do is I'd love to see if any of you we want to talk about what does 2020 have in store for us? What does 2020 have in store for you? What do you expect out of 2020? So what I'm going to do is without further ado, go ahead and get started with the program. Title of the show today, Let's Talk 2020. Who will be president? House? Senate? State legislatures? What kind of a government are we going to have? 2020 is a huge year. We got a big year coming. What will rule us? Will we be ruled by good values, or will we be ruled by the corporatocracy? Will we be ruled by what the people really want, what the people really need, or will we be ruled by a slave mentality that says, let's just take what they're willing to give us? What is it going to be, my brothers and my sisters? What is it going to be? Are we finally going to say, we believe in ourselves? We believe that we have the ability to go ahead and elect those that need to be elected, that really have our well-being at hand. Not that say they do. For those of you who was just listening to the Brad Report and came into Politics Done Right, who listened to Shanks make the statement about progressive, who listened to what he had to say, who listened to saying, well, why am I going to vote against these stalwarts? Why am I going to make the vote that isn't necessarily the popular vote in that domain, but not in the country, in that domain? Why am I going to do that? A change has to come, and the disenslavement has to occur at some point in time. Let's make it 2020. We are in such dire straits as a country. I wrote an article for Daily Kos a couple of weeks ago. And, everybody's talking about, it's the economy, stupid. If Donald Trump has a great economy, stock market's going through the roof. Unemployment is completely low. Oh, man, it is low and it is real. But you guys are working your butts off for nothing. And the stock market, guess what? It's not helping you. It's just helping a few. So I'm saying, you know what the Republicans used to be very good at doing? Republicans used to be very good at taking your strengths and turning it into a weakness. They were great at that. You could talk about, I am going to have midnight basketball to take those kids in the middle of the ghettos, in the middle of the barrios, in the middle of Appalachia off the streets at midnight, so that they'll be doing something constructive instead of breaking into people's homes, instead of killing. You remember that? Midnight basketball, all that kind of stuff? But they turned that into some liberal, crazy midnight basketball. What are they talking about? It actually had value. But this time, great economy. We don't need to say it's the economy, stupid. It's the economy for real. It's an economy that works for very few people. Look at your own bank account. I'm not talking about you great people that's working for corporate America that have great 401ks, because your 401k look great. The stock market is zooming. Let me tell you how that 401k looks great. There's a thing called the repo market. I spoke about that last week. Don't hold your breath, 401k brothers and sisters. Because the repo market, anytime it actually collapses or the government decides they're not going to inflate the dollar anymore, the stock market has to come crashing down for balance. Look, folks, I really wish more people understood or tried to understand or were given that info. You know why? Because I tell you what, Americans are smart. Americans have all the values. All those things are there. Unfortunately, we used to have a media that would tell you things appropriately so that you could make the appropriate decision, so that you could make good decisions for your family, for you, for your kids. But the corporatocracy learned something. They learned Powell Manifesto. Go to my website, egbertowillies.com, and search for the Powell Manifesto. What that Powell Manifesto did was teach the corporatocracy how to infect. Notice I didn't say infiltrate. How to infect churches, how to infect schools, how to infect colleges, how to infect universities. So that they could, when Trump talk about alternative facts or he talks about fake news, that fake news is not only the fake news that Donald Trump is perfect at doing. You listen to your politicians, the ones that we consider the good ones as well, and you get a lot of fake news as well. I said, like, America is a centrist country. They're a centrist country who really wants good health care. They're a centrist country who wants free college. They're a centrist country who wants to ensure that there's good maternity leave. There's a centrist country that want all those things that we call on the fringe. You see? But what they do is they use the words, they use the narrative to talk to you, brothers and sisters. They use the narrative on you, and you believe the narrative, and you believe that what you're seeing isn't real. What you're hearing is, what you're seeing isn't. And, I was talking to my daughter this morning. My daughter's heading back to D.C. to go back to college, finish her degree or her med school stuff. And she said, Dad, but you know what? The problem is that people don't listen and they just can't change. And I said, no, that is what they're betting on. They're betting on you guys being foolish. I said, did you change? Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Are you doing something about it? Yes. So if you can change, what makes you believe others can't or others won't? I tell you something. There are two ways people change. They can infer, they can empathize with others with the expectation or hope that it doesn't happen to them because they're going to do something about it, or something can happen to them that forces them to do it. But you know what? I got ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Title of the show, Let's Talk 2020. Who will be president, House, Senate, and state legislatures? Subtitle, Election 2020 can either be a dud or transformational. Which will it be? I am betting on the latter, but we cannot wish it. We must work it. We cannot wish it. We must work it. I see a lot of fear and pessimism about 2020. I am interestingly at peace with it. And you know why I'm at peace? Because I've got a plan. I am going to use the little tiny platform that KPFT has afforded me, that Politics Done Right has afforded me, that these different avenues has afforded, to do my one part. And let's think about thousands of people doing the same thing. We can talk to our fellow brothers and sisters. We can get to them. We just have to have the thing that Republicans have always done, the things that the right wing has always done, the things that the corporatocracy has always done. It's called repetition. Keep saying the truth. Let them keep saying the lies. Our truth will trump their lies. I believe people are going to show up in numbers never seen before. But the thing is, we must make the case for this peaceful revolution where the masses finally put a stop to the titans of finance that is destroying the middle class and with that, the country. Let's get busy. Before I get to the program, however, I want to remind all my listeners that KPFT is a bastion of intelligent voices and programs. As a political activist myself, my favorites are Think Wing Radio with
Mike Honig on Mondays at 3 p.m.
And of course, we have Open Journal
with Dwayne Bradley and the crew on Mondays at 6 p.m.
And just before this show, we had that wonderful Joe Jazz Latino of Rocky Van Latin Jazz at its very best, hosted by
Juan Flores. That's Tuesdays from 12 to noon.
And they have a podcast, one on
HCD2.
Yeah.
And that's on Thursdays.
Okay, folks. Asian Radio. You see that? You see that radio voice you just heard back there? That voice that says, "Oh yes, it's on that." That show is Asian Radio. What show is that? A weekly radio program featuring an eclectic mix of Asian underground, Bagra, Bollywood, funk, Hindi, Rai, where ancient sounds meet future beats, and that is
directly after this show every Tuesday from 4 to 6.
And who is one of the authors of that show, sir?
That's me, Naboo, and Yogi, and Alex, and of course FX Box will all be at the show. So stay tuned for that right after this.
Right after the show, folks, and you gotta listen to what keeps me jamming into Kingwood when I leave out here, folks. So
nice.
Stay on. Check out our full schedule at kpft.org, where you can find programming from music to politics to medicine to the eclectic. KPFT is a listener-supported public community radio station. So please remember that if you like what you hear, visit kpft.org and ensure we remain a strong, viable community radio station that provides news, programming, and information not influenced by who, Naboo?
The corporatocracy.
Hey, my brothers and my sisters, we have to be independent. We need independent media. We need community radio. We need all these things so that we can inform the collective. All of us forming the collective. We have got to do it, people. We have got to do it. We have got to make the change. Anyhow, so telephone number 713-526-5738. I wrote no blog of the week. I am going to keep on a soliloquy until I hear from you, somebody, anybody, people, women, men, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, progressive, conservatives, anarchists, everybody. I love everybody. And so call us at 713. I'm taking calls right now. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. So if you want to talk, give us a call because, folks, it is your show. And guess what? Politics Done Right has always, let me repeat, Politics Done Right has always been your show. It has always been your platform. So at any time, anybody can always reach us at any time. At any time. And I just got a happy PDR from my wonderful, beautiful daughter who's probably at the airport right now. Love you, baby. And you stay strong and you do what you got to do. And let me go ahead and take that first call. James, come on in. James.
All right. Thank you, Egberto, for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I heard your subject that you want to focus on today, but I had to make a quick statement.
Yes, sir.
The show that was on just before you came on, what show was that?
The Brad Report. Broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like a spinoff from Rush Limbaugh or one of the Fox News stations.
Okay.
It sounds like progressive. It sounds like conservative pretending to be progressive.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like somebody is sowing division right there in y'all midst. And I never heard. I've listened to this show for years.
Mm-hmm.
I can listen to a conservative conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to everything y'all put out, and with an open mind and an open ear.
Yes, sir.
This what I heard earlier. Something wrong with that. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you a little bit about Schenk. Schenk is sort of, I call Schenk the shock jock of progressivism. Okay, we share different styles. Okay, Schenk is hearts in the right place now. Okay, I know the guy. From the time that he formed the I don't remember the name of the organization, that rival one that we had called Move to Amend, trying to change the Constitution to take money out of politics. There are some people that think, James, that you can actually kind of insult people into thinking one way. I don't. I believe in talking to people. Like you've listened to my show several years now. So I understand where you're coming from. If it's the first time that you've heard him, I can understand that is the way you would feel about him. But the heart's in the right place.
Well, not just him, also the host. Also, it's like it wasn't. I haven't heard anything like that since I've been listening to the station.
Right.
And it really made me consider not sending in the pledge that I've been sending in or prepared to send in now.
Okay.
Because I don't, I can get that kind of, I guess, atmosphere for free just by going to Rush Limbaugh.
I got
so
you. Well, James, I want to do one thing to you. I want to say this to you, right? I can't apologize for anybody for how they come across to you. All I can say is you know who I am. You know Politics Done Right, and you have been with us for a long time. And KPFT will always need your support. So what I can apologize as a part of this station for is anything inferred to those who may have taken it just like you. Because if you took it that way, you are a mushroom coming out with a big pulp underneath. So I understand that, all right? So please send in your pledge, brother. You have a station that needs you and a station that will continue to serve you. Politics Done Right as well, sir. But I ask you so kindly that don't let one program be a genesis for what's going on with you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you so kindly, sir.
Job.
You have a wonderful day, sir. And Happy New Year. All right, let me go to line 3. I think that's Ashley. That may be my daughter. Ashley, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
How you doing, my folks? It's great that your daughter is at the airport heading to school. She's listening to her dad, and she calls in. I'm excited. Talk to me, Ashley.
Yeah, so to allude to what we were speaking about earlier, I remember we were having this discussion about Medicare.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And so we were saying, like, how I was saying that Medicare needs a complete rebranding because we all know that Medicare isn't, like, what it's up to snuff. Like,
Right.
It's not where it potentially could be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to put in a plug for as we come into 2020, a year of elections, a new decade, yada, yada, yada. I just wanted to put in that we need to really think about things that we may not be coming into contact with usually. And so something as in like Medicare for all, which is essentially health care for all, just bad branding.
Right.
I think people should really think about that because those who are even as young as I am, I'm 28 and I'm already seeing, my health issues kind of manifest and it can start at any time. And so I really want to hone in on the health stuff since, med student here, that we need to think about somebody who also is thinking about the general health of America.
Well, look, I am with you. And earlier, actually, we discussed about the problems with naming Medicare. A lot of people loved Medicare. A lot of people right now are having some issues with Medicare, and they are under the theory that Medicare for all is the same thing as standard Medicare. So when you and I discussed branding issues, we have a lot of work to do with that. I agree with you.
Yeah, and then, of course, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to KPFT and to you, Dad. It was so great to be on the show for a hot second.
Thank you so kindly, Ash. You have a great one, and safe travels, and call Dad when you get in.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's go to Mike, line 2. Come on in, Mike.
Hey there. Now, I can't compete with your daughter, and I certainly want to also say that we're a big family here at KPFT as listeners, and so I expect to hear a wide diversity of voices on this radio station, and that's one reason that I do pledge to it every time I get asked.
Thank you so kindly, Mike.
Yeah, we don't hear the diversity enough. We get into our own echo boxes. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your thoughts on something that President Obama said a while back, which was that he expects people to drive the social change that they want to see, that basically we need to force the politicians to understand what it is that we're motivated by. in this age where there's so much got echo chambering and people just listening to the things they want to listen to, I think it's very difficult for people to feel like they can get engaged and make social change. At the same time, people like Angela Davis have pointed out that it only takes about 30,000 people who are dedicated to a proposition of change to actually make it happen. And so I do feel some positive energy, especially moving into 2020, for us to engage. So my question is, what do you see in terms of opportunity for people to engage on a wide diversity of issues?
Man, first of all, thank you for that statement on diversity. Thank you for that statement about people engaging, and thank you for having those numbers about 30,000 people to do propositions. I imagine you're talking about local issues, which are very, very important. Let me tell you what I see. First of all, I am very, very optimistic, not for 2020, but for 2020 and beyond. And I'm optimistic. How old are you, Mike, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 38.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that number as well. Let me tell you what I've seen. I work for people from people that are much older, much younger, everything. And what I'm seeing is that the younger folks are engaging, but they're doing a different kind of engagement. They are saying, I am not going to just take the word of the politician that tells us to vote a particular way. And if you see what's happening with the group of people, hung up. If you look at what's happening to the group of people under 45, Mike, if you still have something to say after these words, you can call back. But I think you were saying you wanted an answer. But what I see with people under 45 is take no prisoners. They stick with their values, but they're open to change because that is what it's going to take. And they are willing to engage like never before. I think, I don't want to say I hope, I think 2020 is that transition point. And I think it's an early transition point because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has allowed folks to reassess exactly where they are. And in doing so, I think he accelerated that change that I'm talking about. It is almost the same thing that occurred with the talent that Barack Obama had as the talent that Barack Obama had as a I don't want to say articulate. I sound like that Biden, but as somebody who knew how to tell the message in a proper manner. He allowed folks to forget who he was, what his name was, and what he looked like. Phone's ringing, and what he looks like. He allowed that to happen, and because of that, I think we got a black president before the country was actually ready for the black president. I think a lot of those things can change. But anyhow, to be exactly back on the subject, I do believe that this year people are going to engage. We're going to use all the different social platforms. Now, we have to be careful because my hunch is that the social platforms, as they prove to be more efficacious, that they are going to start tamping them down, just like how a few times my channel has been tamped down. Thank you so kindly for that call. Okay, Bruce, come on in.
Hey, Bartow, thanks for what you do.
Thank you so kindly for calling in, my brother. Talk to me.
I got a crazy comment. I thought you were. It sounds like the lines were dead for a while.
Oh no.
I've been thinking this. I haven't aired this with anybody. If Bloomberg or any other millionaire, billionaire, whatever, however much they have, wanted to do us a favor, they would run as a Republican against Donald Trump.
Yes.
And I think that's what we need. That would not being ugly to Democrats, but that would certainly help the cause.
Look, let me tell you what's going on, Bruce. Okay, Bruce, what we have is a multi-tier fight. All right, and this is Mike just called in earlier, and he wanted to know what I thought about the election, what I thought about the engagement of people, etc., etc., etc. All right, I think that the powers that be also know that the young people are going to be very engaged. I think they all know that. And I think that
that's where Bernie is. Sorry,
yes.
That's where Bernie has the chance.
Yes,
he's been ignored.
Oh, Bernie,
he will get the people out. He would have beat Donald Trump, and I think whatever.
Bruce, you're right. But
heard or
no.
Told,
look, all of them.
He has a chance.
Yes, look, all of them. I think all of them, even Brother Biden, I think will beat Donald Trump. I mean, sometimes I'll say he can't win or whatever.
You're right.
But no, I think no. Let me be very frank with you. I think every single one of those top Democrats are going to win because I think the polls are overperforming for Donald Trump. I think what the numbers don't tell for Donald Trump is the fear vote of the folks that are not counted.
Well, the polls are always to make it a horse race to keep the programming.
That's probably
keep the Americans programmed.
There is some truth to that, but I am expecting a landslide in 2020 on the progressive side, I think
I hope you're right.
I'm on the radio saying that, brother. I'm on the radio saying that. But let me tell you better. Okay, check this out. I think the Democratic establishment and the Republican establishment knows that, and that's why they're so scared. That's why they're trying to tilt the race to people like Biden, to centrists, because if the slide comes in that I expect, it's going to bring in a whole lot of different kind of people. And when I talk about different kind of people, I'm not only talking about hue. I'm also talking about with ideology and with values. But Bruce, I got to take off. Anything else you want to say real quickly?
No, just an off-the-wall comment.
Okay. Well, thank you so kindly, my friend.
And thank you again for all you do.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day. Okay, let's go to Brother Joe. Come on in, Joe.
Hello. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, sir.
I'm just going to let you know I'm a little nervous, but I just
let me stop you right there. Nervousness not allowed because we have fun here, brother. Talk to me.
Okay, well, that's great. I just wanted to say, I love this radio station. I love the music, a lot of great things.
Mm-hmm.
And but it seems so. Hello?
Yeah. Okay, we're fixing that right now. Bear with me 1 second. He's going to get that off his line 4 that's doing that. There we go. Go ahead, Joe.
But it seems so biased, and I hate that's the way the world seems now,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it really shows, I have, I wanted to donate a car
Mm-hmm.
to the radio station, and I probably will because if nothing else for the music,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of is also very frustrating when you hear such bias, against, we'll say, the Republicans. I really don't consider myself one way or the other.
That's fine.
But,
can I answer that before you continue?
Sure.
First of all, this KPFT is the only station in this whole area where progressives feel they can actually talk and say the things. I mean, if you turn on any radio station, any talk radio station in town, etc., it's a constant attack on folks like, let's say, myself, who consider themselves a very progressive person with progressive values. And by the way, I can almost guarantee you and I have the same, almost the same values. Or I can almost guarantee that. Because after I've done some studies, I've found out that this made-up bias that you're talking about, which is true, when you listen to these different parts, it really sound like biases, right? But
big time.
Yeah, big time. So, but let me ask you this. Can I ask you how old are you, Joe?
I'm over 50.
You're over 50, so you're like me. Okay, so here's the deal. I bet that if you had kids right now, right, you would want to have, and you would like to have those kids have the access to college, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
Okay, so all the things that I talk about, right, I am absolutely sure there are these things that you're going to say, yeah, dang it, I want that. I want that if Joe gets sick, Joe can go to the hospital and Joe doesn't have to worry about, oh my God, am I going to not be able to take care of my parent? Am I not going to be able to take care of my kid? All of us believe those things, okay?
Yes, I agree.
Now, the problem is, in the equation that we have here, there's an establishment that has to create a war between people so that we can have factions that all like it, but have something to fight about.
I don't agree on that.
Okay, tell me where you don't agree, and then I can go from there.
I think that the war exists, but it also existed with. I hate to even because this makes it seem like I'm sided, but I'm just saying if it was Party A and Party B, I almost hate to label which party because I really could care less.
Mm-hmm.
But what bothers me, what kills me actually,
mm-hmm.
and to me it shows ignorance, and ignorance is a strong word, but if anytime somebody doesn't see the other side at all, that's kind of ignorance
Yes,
to me.
it is.
And again, I hate to say that word.
No, but you're correct. I agree with you.
So in other words, do I want better health care? Heck yes.
Right.
You don't want to bleep me out. You know, I want it so bad.
Right.
Do I want easier college for kids? Heck yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh, yes. Do I think Donald Trump has done some good things? Yes.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you there. I want to stop you there.
There's good on both sides.
Wait a minute.
It's like
I want
the other side is never mentioned.
I
That's
want to
what
stop
I
you
mean.
there. If you are a constant listener to my program, you would have heard me give Donald Trump kudos for certain things on trade. You would have heard me give Donald Trump kudos on certain things. So what I'm trying to say is, when I looked at you and I said there are certain things that we have in common, right? But what happens is this, in my opinion, Joe. What happens is people, and maybe even you may be tailored yourself to listen to things with a rightward bias in your thought process that makes my super progressiveness seem sometimes toxic. And my thing is, how do we get around that? In my opinion, is to listen. It's, in other words, like you came onto my show, and to me, I'll be honest, to me it sounds like you have a rightward bias. But guess what? I want to talk to you. I'm not going to try to fight you or argue you or whatever. I want to hear what you have to say, because I think this is what I've proven actually with talking to a whole lot of very people, and not folks like you. I'm talking about right-wingers out there in Kingwood in a Starbucks or whatever, where we've sat down and broken bread, and at the end of the conversation is we like each other. You know, a lot of times, I must admit, a lot of times, the way I frame the argument, most of the times, honestly, it'll be like, dang it, we're kind of the same. So why are... This woman one time looked at me and said, when I finally said I'm a very left-wing liberal, she said, but you're so nice. And I'm like...
you are.
But what I said is this. No, but what I said is, we all are. We all are. But what gets in the way is what these guys have programmed us to do. And that's what I try to fight. In my show, as left-wing as I am, I try to fight that, because I try to say, hey, guy, you and I really like the... once I look at you, Joe, and I say, I can guarantee you most of us want the same damn thing. Eventually, you see, you know, and that's what it's all about, sir. Hey, by the way, give KPFD the car, man.
Okay. I sure will. I will. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Joe. Hey, Joe,
and you as well.
Thank you, sir. You have a great day, okay?
All right, you too.
All right,
it was
brother.
a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, we have open lines, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Come on in, Ryan.
Hey, this show's up in form, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
wait,
great.
actually, I don't. You can. This show is yours. What do you want to say?
Well, 20 years ago was the 2000 presidential election.
Yes.
And I've been doing some kind of research and reminiscing on that. And I think I can honestly say if I was only 11 and a half at that time, and if I'd been old enough to vote, I would have probably voted for Nader, regardless of what everyone else would have told me.
Okay. But guess what I would say to that? Okay, what I would say to that is, if you take a look at what the values that Nader was looking for, that would have been the values vote. That would have been the vote for what's best for the middle class, what's best for everybody. From a calculating point of view, okay, if you're calculating something, you could say, in my opinion at least, this is one that you had to vote to fight for the other day. Because let me give an example. You told me you were 11 years old then, which means you're just about 30 years. You're about 30 years old right now. Okay, the damage that has been done to our economy that materially affects you because Gore didn't get into office is palpable. I mean, it's the I mean, I'm with you. You know what I to this day. Let me give an example. This is what I've told people. I've told people. I am going to work as hard as I can to get the most progressive candidate winning. Now, if I am when I say I am talking about we, if we are unsuccessful in getting the most progressive, and let's say our worst fears materialize that it is Biden that becomes the Democratic nominee, and I see the nominees are Biden, somebody that absolutely I know that we won't have the stamina to get them running, and Donald Trump. For me, I've sent one thing, and I wrote this on my blog. I've sent one thing. If they materially made Biden the nominee. In other words, if after a if after a Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren got together, put their votes together, and came out ahead of Biden, and they still gave Biden the nomination, at that point, there's no point in having a party. And at that point, I would be rebellious, and I would be one of the leaders of the rebellion.
DNC would pretty much dig their own graves if they elect Biden.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And wait, hold on a second. Let me correct what I'm saying. Not if they elect Biden. If Biden wins, look, all these guys are going to try to get Biden to win. All of the progressives are going to try to get a progressive candidate to win. If the progressives are unsuccessful in doing that, and Biden is the true winner, I will support Biden. But if Biden was an illegitimate winner because of the DNC, at that point in time, it is our responsibility as progressives then to ensure that we no longer toe the line. Do you follow the difference?
I do, but even if Biden did legitimately win, I would still not vote for him.
And that's fine. That's your right. That's why it's a vote. You know, I mean, it's your right.
And as for Nader, what saddens me and shocks me is that people still continue to blame him for Bush, even though Al Gore has only himself to blame, because the dude couldn't even win his home state.
Right. No, look, let me tell you, I've stopped that third party blaming. Don't even blame what's her name, the Green Party for
Stein.
Stein. You know, I know Stein personally, and I
don't have to hear it.
Yeah, I know Stein personally. I don't blame her for Hillary's defeat. I blame Hillary for not going in appropriately to Pittsburgh, Flint, Detroit, and all these. I mean, what happened is what these folks don't understand is they constantly take votes of certain groups for granted. Oh, they're going to be with us. It's like Biden. Biden is winning right now because black people are supporting Biden. I think phone's ringing. I think it's important for us to if people like me to point out that, first of all, Biden wasn't picked by Obama because Obama thought he was some great civil rights leader, and number two, Biden Biden was picked to get a certain kind of voter to vote for Barack Obama. We have to make a more sophisticated voter to understand that kind of a thing.
I understand.
Anything else you want to add? Was great talking to you, Ryan.
Happy New Year, and I guess I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so kindly. You have a happy New Year, sir.
Likewise.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to Tag. Come on in, Tag.
Hey, Egberto, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my brother.
The previous caller had said we have a slant towards the left.
Yes.
I just have to say that, for me, I believe that Trump is on dangerous grounds, doing a lot of things that could blow up in our face here as we go on.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think they really consider that too much.
Let me tell you. I think Trump is dangerous. Trump is doing a whole lot of crazy things, but Trump has a base, and Trump's base is really the plutocracy. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you to believe that Trump is so caustic to these people that they want Trump gone. They'd like a milder Trump. But Trump has been great to our plutocracy. Trump has been like manna from heaven, free stuff. You know, everybody talk about progressives wanting a lot of free stuff. It's not progressives that want the free stuff. It's all the free stuff that's going to the top.
Amen to that, brother. The top has certainly got their fair share of free stuff lately.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely so, sir. What I'm trying to get across, people, right, we are a very well indoctrinated country, right? And it takes a lot. Hell, it took me a long time to be unindoctrinated from a lot of things, both social, economic, and otherwise. But once your eyes are open, man, it's great.
I got to agree with that.
Yes.
And it's just the thing that really kills me is that what Trump is doing now and setting some of these new precedents is going to come back and hurt everybody. The Republicans have done a lot of things they wish they hadn't done now, but especially with what the House is doing.
Right. Well, you know something? I still have an expectation that when our younger folk take over, which they are going to, in my humble opinion, start their trek in 2020, that we will see the light and get a lot of things. Look, I know a lot of these folks, and I am really impressed with the caliber of folks coming up. Boomers and older Gen Xers like to give them a hard time. I'm either an older Gen Xer or a young boomer. I like to take the older Gen Xer because midlife crisis kind of thing. But I think those kids are going to do a good job.
Well, I'm going to let you go, Egberto, but thanks for everything you do, and I hope that people support the station in the new year.
Thank you so kindly, and you have a wonderful, happy New Year, Tag. Take care now.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, we are going to have a great New Year, and KPFT is also going to have a great New Year because I know you all see the value in KPFT for all the different things that we do, whether some of the stuff you like or not. It's just like James called in and he was sort of upset with a particular show, but like I try to explain, we all have our ways of doing things, and hey, you got politics done right, brothers and sisters, so come on, don't forget. That call 713-526-5738. By the way, we have open line 713-526-5738. One more time, 713-526-5738. And I have the one and only MOD. Now, MOD, let's see what MOD is going to talk about today. Talk to me, MOD.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
It's like you got a bunch of China plates. You heard though?
What? I got a lot of what?
China plates.
What is that?
You're able to take a wave of. It's good. You're pretty good at interacting with different values. So I'll give you that much. Not back down.
Well, look. Let me tell you something, man. If you want to make sure and be for the people, you have to be for the people. Let me before you get in MOD, I want to talk to a couple of folks on my chat screen. So hold on for me for 2 seconds.
Go for it.
Michael Lance, thank you so kindly for being here. Ashley Willis, thank you so kindly for being here. Lawrence Sims, of course, one of our regulars as well. And then there's Optimistically Cynical. I love that name from YouTube. Optimistically Cynical. He said, it would suck to be a T-Rex with cerebral palsy because nobody would take your disability seriously. Look, folks, Medicare for All, Optimistically Cynical. I don't know what that means. And Barney McAvey, welcome, Barney. Voters should decide whether a GOP senator or a Dem Senate gets the articles of impeachment. You know something? You're sounding like the way the Republicans sounded when it came to choosing that judge. What's his name? Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. Thank you for that comment. Barney McAvey, you're here on air, KPFT 90.1 FM, Houston, Texas. Lawrence Sims, welcome aboard, brother. He says, so can Booker and Wang or others put theirs together and get the same response from you as with Bernie and Elizabeth? Of course, Mr. Sims. I believe in real democracy. So yes, but my contention is when we're going to have Bernie with something like 29, 30 points, in my humble opinion, and Elizabeth Warren with probably 25 or so, that'll give you 55 points. That's a clear majority. So that's what I'm thinking. That is the reason I use those two examples. But who knows? Those two may be able to say Bernie, Elizabeth, and Yang pull theirs together, and they come up with the magic number. So there are a lot of possibilities. My three to poll would be Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Andrew Yang. So what I'm going to tell all you brothers and sisters out there that are real progressives supporting those three candidates, do not beat up on each other, because the three of you are going to poll and put your votes together. All right, MOD, sorry for that interruption. Come on in, brother.
It's all good. So what if, well, not what if, how about if we know that whoever funds Zerk for his Justice Democrats is the same person who funded AOC, who waived a $200 million purchase of Resorts International in '86 when Don Trump bought it, and then last year waived the debt, which came up to $300 million of interest. Said, no, don't worry about it. It's the same entity that is pushing all these candidates, the progressives, these kiddies that will come in 2024.
Let me tell you something, MOD, because I try to be, I honestly try to be fact-based, and I'm not saying that you're not, but here's what I want to tell you.
You want to say the name?
No. Hold on. My dear brother, hold on. What I'd like you to do is the following.
No, I'm just telling you a fact, that's all.
No, hold on. You have my email. I'd like you to send to info@politicsdoneright.com.
Okay.
You're
I
correct.
think your audience can just hear the point would be that the same entity that has funded these characters, they all funnel up to the same entity.
Okay, that's fine. And I want to see that before I just throw something like that on air.
Listeners to understand that Resource International was purchased by Donald Trump. The Soros investment firm waived that amount with interest.
Okay.
Plus the $300 million. The same entity that funded and created Justice Democrats.
Okay, I hear you.
When you hear Zerk,
MOD, you tell me that. I think you've told me that 5 times now, but it's cool. I always give you your airtime.
Let's leave that there. What is Don doing now, starting World War III, bombing Iraq?
Okay, that'll be terrible.
Well, I mean, we're over there because a mercenary got killed, supposedly.
Yeah.
And so he bombed 5 times the other day.
Okay.
And now, someone's asking.
I got you. MOD, I got to let you go. I got to let you go, but you're Happy New Year, okay? Okay, folks, we got open lines, 713-526-5738. Open lines completely, 713-526-5738. Daniel Ledoux from Facebook says, I am rooting for a Sanders-Warren ticket. Hey, let me tell you something. I believe, laugh as you may, I think a Sanders-Warren ticket with those two go. Let me tell you what my thing would be with a Sanders-Warren ticket, right? The problem is it's 2 elder statespersons that would be running. But, hey, I could live with that because I think Elizabeth is in very good health. And I think Bernie Sanders is probably going to live to at least 100. But here's the deal. I would love to see those two on a ticket. And I would love to see they go into Appalachia and go ahead and say, surrogates, let's go ahead and keep everybody else ramped up in the progressive base. But let's go hit that new base who really need our policies. Let's do it. I bet if they go into all these bases, what you're going to start seeing is, oh, my God, the corporatocracy is going to have to try to find militias to try to scare them out of there. Because that is what I want progressives to start doing. I want progressives to start expanding their base. Stop talking to the choir. Let's go to Appalachia. A lot of people say, oh, those people are racist. They don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't believe it. I've spoken to enough KKK people myself. Yes, that's right. This Black, Latino, Caribbean men have spoken to KKK people who've left speaking like, oh, dang, So let's go into Appalachia. We're not trying to be lovers or friends or anything. We're looking for a vote for your common interests. That's what we're looking for. Anyway, let me go to El Señor Mark. Come on in, Mark.
Howdy. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, sir.
I just wanted to make a comment. In the past, I've heard, I guess, people like Jeff Berg kind of blame people for not voting for Hillary.
Right.
And I just, that kind of lost me as a paying member of KPFT. But on the other side, because you can't blame voters. You got to blame the politicians, not the voters.
True.
But I get the feeling that in 2020, we're going to be faced with another Trump presidency because kind of what you had said earlier, if for some reason the DNC gives Biden the delegates, even though Bernie or someone wins, that we should start a new party or, do whatever. It's like, well, why haven't we done that yet? Because that's exactly what happened 4 years ago.
I love that you said that. Let me explain the difference, okay?
I'll take it off the
sure.
air.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Happy
Mark.
New Year's.
Okay. Happy New Year, sir. All right. Let me go this way. He made a very good point. In 2016, I made the promise. I was personally, I'm taking off my host hat right now. I made the promise as a Bernie Sanders delegate in Philadelphia. After it was all over, I was supporting the ticket. I was supporting the party. That was my responsibility. That's a word that I gave. It's interesting enough that most of the people who sponsored my trip to Philly, which was very expensive, were Hillary supporters. They knew that I would keep my word in supporting whomever came out ahead. They knew if I could be one of the folks that could have brought Bernie through at that convention, they knew that was the job that I was going there to do. But they also knew that I had no intention of blowing the ticket up. Now, a lot of shenanigans occurred, but I can tell you one thing from somebody who was there. The Bernie platform got placed in the it's the Bernie platform that came out. Yeah, people can say, well, platforms don't do a lot. But at least that's what occurred. So after it turned out that Hillary did, in fact, get a hell of a lot more votes, popular votes, than Bernie Sanders did. So she won legitimately the Democratic. I mean, there's a lot of shenanigans. Yes, we can say all of that. But she won. She won the Democratic primary. If you're going to fight in the Democratic Party and there's one person doing some shenanigans, you got to do it. You got to supersede that. That's the game. And Bernie understood the game, and that's why Bernie also supported Hillary Clinton. Now, that's a different topic from what I said for 2020. I said the following. There are a lot of candidates running, and more than likely there's an easy way to get to a brokered convention. And in the brokered convention, the first ballot, if there's not a clear winner in the first ballot, then you get these things called super delegates to come in. If the super delegates override the will of the people, in other words, if the will of the people is a progressive slant based on the candidates and the votes that they have, and the super delegates come and awash themselves into the other side, at that point, it is proven then that the Democratic Party is not a democratic party. And as such, yes, Trump will likely be reelected again. And not only would he be reelected, whether personally I vote for the candidate or not, but because of what that would have done to the base itself. But in that particular case, if it's a sham from the party, yes, I would have to leave the party, and I would be an active person, very hard, trying to form a new party. I know it will be difficult and it'll be dire straits for a while, but that would have made the Democratic Party nothing more than an appendage to the Republican Party, which is an appendage to the plutocracy. So that's where I stand. And there's no hard feelings here. It is just saying I am trying to be with a party that honestly has the will of the people. And we have to also start allowing the people, urging the people to accept who they are, to enforce what they want, and not take what the plutocracy tells them they can have. Johnny, come on in.
Hey, Egberto.
Talk to me.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
Homeboy, you worked on Christmas Eve and now on New Year's Eve. What did I tell you last week? Take a break.
Oh, my trucker brother, my Republican trucker brother. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Hey, so I tuned in. I got off work at 3. I tuned in. Anyway, I want to address your one listener at the bottom of the hour.
Yes, sir.
I forgot his name. Joe, I think.
Joe, yeah.
He said that he didn't like that you guys are biased and lean to the left, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he said, but I like the music. Oh, my God, the music is horrible. Anyway, I'm not going to touch on that.
Hey!
But it's just not for me. I like alternative rock. I'm a rock and roll guy.
Go for
anyway,
it, brother.
I'm kind of just joking on that.
I know.
But the thing is, you guys do lean to the. I mean, you lean to the left, and you are biased. But we need that because we, at least you admit it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Johnny, that means a lot to me, Johnny. It does. Go ahead.
And when I listen to both left and right. I listen to conservative. By the way, conservative talk radio has taken 2 weeks off. They have taken a break and they're spending time with their family. Think about that. Anyway, so yeah, it's okay. It's okay that you guys lean to the left. I like listening to yours too, especially your show. The other shows I don't really care for. But anyway, at the 3 o'clock hour, because I noticed this is how I know KPFT. At 3 o'clock, that's when the political shows are, right?
Yes.
That Mike Honig guy, brother Robin Muhammad is on tomorrow, and he's probably going to do a show because he did the show on Christmas Day. You guys are committed, and I appreciate that. But also take a break, guys. Come on.
Hey, Johnny. I gotta go. Talk to me. Tell me a quick one. I gotta go.
Okay. Well, anyway, we need you guys around because you guys care for the poor and whatnot. Not that I don't, because I do lean to the right, but I'm not going to do anything about it. But you will, and I appreciate you for that.
Hey, brother, I appreciate your words, and let me tell you. Remember, send KPFT a contribution. All right.
I will. Can I make one wager for you? Because you said that anybody on the left running can beat Donald Trump.
Yes.
I want to offer you dinner after an election. If Donald Trump wins, which I think he is, I don't like the guy, but I like his policies, I will buy you dinner if somebody on the left, anyone on the left, I will buy you dinner.
I'll take you up on that, brother.
And the other way around. Would you like to take
Yes,
that
I'll
wager?
trust, that wager is on. I'll buy you dinner otherwise.
And anyone on the left, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. You have a great one. Thank you so kindly for calling in, Johnny.
Happy New Year.
All right, brother. Happy New Year. Okay, let me see. Talking to my folks on let's see. Thank you, Not My Name. Welcome aboard from YouTube. And we also have Barney McGrain says, many have left the DNC. We have Patricia D. Galani. How you doing, my friend? Happy New Year to you, too. And thank you so kindly for calling me your favorite broadcaster. Love you to death, Mademoiselle Patricia D. Galini. Daniel Ledo, still here with us. Thank you. And let's see who else with us. Lawrence Sims is still here as well. Look, guys, I love you all. Remember, this is your program. And I mean that, and I show that with the way I deal with my listeners, whether it is here at KPFT or Politics Done Right online as well. It is your show. Many times you change the trajectory of the show. Let's keep it going. Let's make it better in 2020. Please continue to contribute to Politics Done Right. Contribute to KPFT because that is what we're here for. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you know how I'm going to end this, baby. I am what? Out!